Edvard Munch, the Norwegian painter renowned for his haunting masterpiece The Scream, was more than just a revolutionary artist. He was a complex individual with a life filled with fascinating stories, eccentric habits, and intense emotions. From his unconventional lifestyle to his pioneering ideas, Munch's life was as colorful and dramatic as his art. Here are 10 lesser-known, intriguing facts about this iconic figure. 1. He didn't always take care of his art. Edvard Munch's approach to preserving his work was anything but meticulous. At his villa in Ikeli, Oslo, creativity and chaos reigned supreme. Paintings, tools, and books were scattered around the property, and astonishingly, many of his works were stored outside. This unconventional storage exposed Munch's masterpieces to the elements. Today, footprints from humans and dogs, water damage, bird droppings, and even candle wax can still be seen on some of his pieces. These imperfections, rather than detracting from his work, add to the story of his art, reflecting the environment in which it was created and preserved. Munch's apparent neglect wasn't necessarily due to a lack of care, but rather a reflection of his prioritization of creating over maintaining. His focus was on the expression of emotion and the act of painting itself, with less concern for the longevity of his creations. 2. He invented the cell phone. While Munch wasn't an inventor, his visionary thinking hinted at future technological advancements. In an undated letter draft to his Danish painter friend Jens Wilhelmsen, Munch expressed the idea of a yet undiscovered little remote telephone that could fit in a pocket and allow instant communication. Munch's fascination with technology was evident in his personal life. He owned a range of cutting-edge devices for his time, including a film camera, a parlograph, an early voice recorder, a telephone, a radio, and a standard camera. This curiosity about innovation paralleled his artistic experiments and shows how his creative mind extended beyond the canvas. 3. He was envious of Gustav Vigeland. Despite his international acclaim, Munch experienced feelings of inadequacy and envy, particularly toward his Norwegian contemporary, the sculptor Gustav Vigeland. Vigeland's monumental work on the Vigeland Sculpture Park in Oslo garnered immense public funding and attention, which Munch found unfair. In his notes, Munch compared the resources the two artists received, lamenting the lack of similar support for his projects. He once bitterly remarked, "A mere spit from Vigeland, and we preserve it in gold." This rivalry highlights Munch's desire for recognition, especially in his home country. While his work was celebrated abroad, he felt undervalued domestically, particularly compared to Vigeland's grand public commissions. 4. He eventually became a vegetarian. In his later years, Munch adopted a vegetarian lifestyle, although he continued eating fish, making him technically a pescatarian. His newfound dietary preference was not only a health choice but also a philosophical one. In a letter to his friend Jens Thies, Munch humorously urged others to join his cause, writing, "Convert from cannibalism. Do not eat your uncles, aunts, and little cousins with shiny eyes." He encouraged others to embrace the diet of herbivores, poetically suggesting, "Eat instead, like the lamb, the lily of the valley, and the grass." Munch's playful yet impassioned advocacy reflects his capacity for introspection and a connection to nature that influenced both his lifestyle and his art. 5. He drew caricatures of his enemies. Munch was known for his tumultuous relationships, and his frustrations often spilled over into his creative work. He had a talent for capturing his grievances in art, drawing sharp caricatures of those who crossed him. Among his targets were painter Christian Krogh and writers Gunnar Heiberg and Sigurd Bødker. In one particularly scathing drawing, Heiberg and Bødker are depicted as grotesque hybrid creatures, a human swine and an emaciated poodle, accompanied by a toad. These caricatures were not just expressions of anger, but also a testament to Munch's sharp wit and ability to channel personal conflict into creative outlets. They provide insight into the artist's personality and his often contentious relationships within the Norwegian art and literary scenes. 6. He took lots of selfies. Long before selfies became a cultural phenomenon, Munch was exploring the art of self-portraiture through photography. His collection of photographs includes numerous self-portraits taken in various settings and poses. Munch often photographed himself in his garden, in front of his paintings, or even in bed. These images, frequently taken in profile, reflect his fascination with documenting his own existence. For Munch, these selfies were more than mere photographs. They were another medium through which he explored identity and introspection. This habit offers a candid glimpse into the private life of an artist who spent much of his time grappling with themes of loneliness and self-reflection in his work. 7. He could have a violent temper. Munch's passionate nature sometimes led to heated arguments and even physical confrontations. His disputes were not limited to verbal exchanges. They occasionally escalated into brawls. Among his adversaries were artists Johannes von Ditten and Ludwig Karsten, as well as author Andreas Haukeland. In one dramatic incident in Germany, Munch narrowly avoided a pistol duel, documenting the ordeal in his notes. 3-day attack, demolished room in the evening. 2nd day, senseless with the American doctor. 3rd day, conflict with the German officers. These episodes reveal a volatile side of Munch's personality that mirrored the emotional intensity of his artwork. 8. He obsessed over matters. Munch was known to fixate on grievances, whether they involved bureaucratic disputes or neighborhood quarrels. One long-standing feud was with his neighbor Axel Gunnerud and his dog, Rolla. After Rolla repeatedly bit Munch and tore the postman's pants, Munch reported the incidents to the police. As a result, Gunnerud was fined, and Rolla was required to wear a muzzle. Munch's inability to let go of perceived injustices is reflective of his broader personality, one deeply attuned to conflicts and emotions, which he often translated into his art. 9. He cared greatly about his dogs. Despite his animosity toward a neighbor's dog, Munch had a profound love for his own canine companions. Over the years, he owned several dogs, including a fox terrier named Phipps, a Gordon setter named Boy, and a Saint Bernard. Bernard named Bomsey. His dogs were more than pets. They were his close companions. Munch often painted and drew his dogs, capturing their personalities in his artwork. Boy, his Gordon setter, was even treated to his own cinema tickets on occasion. Munch's affection for his dogs was rooted in a belief in their wisdom and companionship. He once remarked that an old wise man's soul resided in one of his dogs, highlighting the deep connection he felt with his furry friends. 10. He was a daring marksman. Munch's adventurous streak extended beyond art and into the realm of marksmanship. He owned several firearms and enjoyed shooting as a pastime. This hobby, however, was not without its risks. On one occasion, Munch accidentally shot himself in the finger. In another daring episode, he reportedly shot a cigarette out of painter Ludwig Karsten's mouth, a feat he later described as madness. These stories illustrate Munch's bold and impulsive nature, traits that also informed his approach to painting. His willingness to take risks, both in life and in art, defined much of his creative and personal journey. Edvard Munch, a legacy beyond the canvas. Edvard Munch's life was as dramatic and multifaceted as his art. From his visionary ideas and rivalries to his love for dogs and his fiery temper, Munch remains a figure of endless fascination. His story reminds us that behind every masterpiece lies a human being with quirks, passions, and struggles. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Munch's life, don't forget to like this post and subscribe for more captivating stories about iconic artists and their legacies.